Unrelenting, unrepentant, and in your face. With a style that is always funny, fresh, and never boring. Join Deli as he discusses various relevant and trending topics as he keeps you informed, engaged, and entertained. Welcome to Soul Food and Lemonade.
Hello once again. It's your boy Deli along with Sam Archer, man. Sam, let me tell you, bro, so much is happening in the country. I put a list of topics this morning to talk about, just stuff we can discuss and take it one topic at a time. How has your week been so far, man?
It's been looking up. It's been looking up. It's the last couple of weeks we've been going kind of crazy with all types of stuff.
I know.
But little by little, it's been it's been picking up a little bit. Other than the political aspect of life,
right?
The other aspects of life have to be attended to.
Certainly.
You got to pay some bills. You got to communicate. You got to get an influx of business. It's time to get things
rolling and
let's say rolling. I can't say back on track because we're on a different track.
We're right now we're I don't think there's a track in sight right now, but we have to make our own way and make stuff happen for ourselves, man. Cannot get distracted through everything that's happening. It's easy to get distracted from time to time, but we have to stay on course, because
True.
Once we lose sight, we go back to the same old things that we were once at a couple of weeks back.
Mm-hmm.
So in some headlines that I managed to find, man, is Joe Biden told potential donors that he's prepared to roll back Trump's multi-trillion-dollar tax cuts.
Wow, I missed that one.
Yep, he told potential donors that, and I'm sure some of them not pleased when they hear that. So, we're talking trillions of dollars right now. And so that is not good news for some of the potential donors, I'm sure. But I guess Joe is saying stuff that he needs to say just to get a win. And hopefully, if and when he gets the win, we can only hope that he does the right thing. That's all we can hope for right now. But what's your thought on Joe Biden and the whole, the way things look right now? Any thoughts on it?
I have a lot of thoughts.
Well, we're here to share them.
I know. In terms of the political playing field right now, it's very much representative of how life is. In life, you may not get most of what you want. And now you have to go into that other dynamic of, okay, well, this is the cards that we're handed. How do we play these cards?
Mm-hmm.
And that's life, really. You're going after one thing, or there's something that's suitable that you're looking for, but it's just not part of the card. So now you're looking at a whole other thing, and you're like, okay, well, is there an opportunity in here? Is there a do we just want to get the guy out? But what's how
Yes,
is
we
the
just want to get
alternative
him
going to
out.
work? But
We just want to get him out. Put someone else,
you
anybody at this
know
point.
what's
Well, not
what's the
really.
alternative?
I know.
And we it's going to be a while before we get the perfect candidate on
I
all
don't
sides.
I don't know if we will ever have the perfect candidate because
Mm.
the thing is that the president is only the
Oops, sorry,
oh,
go ahead.
that's probably a friend calling.
That's him
Um,
reaching out.
yeah,
Yeah.
just send him the link. The president really is just the figurehead. He's not truly running the country. You know, um,
Hmm.
it's the powers that being the billionaires and the trillion. Well, the billionaires who are running this country really, who are buying, certain clout politically, and it shouldn't be like that, but it is like that, and we can't deny
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, that's how it comes.
And so we are all being taken hostage, if you may, for lack of a
Hmm.
better term. We all feel like we're being taken hostage by the political system that
Hmm.
isn't designed to properly serve anyone but itself and the people who are
Hmm.
in these offices in government. And so you have to realize that I don't know if we will ever see a real transformation from a political standpoint in this country because of the way the system is set up, first and foremost, and also with the electoral college at play. So
Hmm.
there has to be a total reinvention of the political system as I see it, where not just people who have money run for office, but grassroots people, people who really truly will represent their community because they've experienced what
Hmm.
members of their communities experience in real time and in real life. And we can conclude that those that are running the government, they have always had a silver spoon in their mouth
Yeah, well,
for the most part.
the government has a provision in place where they take care of their,
Their own.
they take care of the elected officials, the officials that are elected, the officials that are selected, the officials that are nominated, the officials that go through the process. There's a different culture there.
Hmm.
So they'll always be okay. I mean, every president that's been a president that's still alive is still getting a salary,
Exactly.
regardless.
Which is sad.
And well, I don't know if it's
I
sad.
mean,
It's
you
just
serve and you
it's
get
just
what
how
you
it is.
deserve. A
Yes,
pension would be
yes.
okay, but beyond a pension, I don't know what else I would deem as being fair
It's a
and
perk.
okay. But
It's a perk.
you know,
And the system in terms of the government system, I mean, it's not roughly, uh, it's not totally a bad setup. It's just that it's set up and designed for
a selected few, right?
a selected, yeah, a select, uh, what I'm looking for, a select sector, I should
Hmm.
say. I think that's politically correct to say it's a select sector in society.
We don't practice
And
political correctness around here. That's for people who have
I'm
something,
I'm
something,
expounding my vocabulary. So, quick thing here. Curtis is saying it's telling me meeting with Del Sound. You're the only person on the call. So
Okay,
I don't
so
know. Is there a way you can add him in?
all right, let's see if there's a way I can add him in. Let's see if
Do I need to send you his number or
yeah, give him the Dell Sound handle so he can call in using that handle, and then he should be able to. I should be able to put him
from
in.
the Skype handle?
Yeah, give him my Skype handle. Yeah, because it seemed as if when we restarted, that link expired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That other
that's
link. You
probably
have
what
another
happened.
one? You have another link? You could just shoot me real
It's
quick or
not showing me right now. Just text him the handle Dell Sound, um, because you're on live now. I don't know how much options I have to make any changes
okay.
right now.
Dell Sound, DELSOUND.
Correct, correct. Yeah, yeah.
And
So that's
that's
the Skype
the
handle. He just called it.
Skype.
Yeah, yeah. And so yeah, back to all of this thing, man. This system is just unfair all the way around. Unfair, at least for most of us, you know. Um, and so there has to be, they're calling for police, defunding the police and making changes, but changes have to be made from the top in order for it to work.
Mm-hmm,
That's what
mm-hmm.
I believe, at least. And so the police is not the only one that needs to be defunded, you know. Um, and I see the disparity every single day, I mean, because I travel all over this state, and you look at the schools in certain neighborhoods, man. Those schools look like hotel. You look at the school in the urban areas, and
Mm-hmm.
they look like abandoned prisons, to be honest with you. And so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if where 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 does our where do our tax dollars truly go? Because I feel like we're paying taxes, but those monies are going to other neighborhoods, benefiting those neighborhoods, but not benefiting the neighborhoods where those tax dollars are coming from. So
Yeah,
something
yeah,
is wrong. The
yeah.
system is broken all the way around.
So what I can tell you is a lot of the questions that you just brought up, or not just questions, but I would say the issues that you just came up with, um, will be answered when you check out the book called The Color of Law.
Do me
There's a
one
book
favor.
called.
Do me one quick
Mm,
favor, Sam. Shift. I don't know if it's to your left or to your right. Just you need to center in the
okay, so this is
no,
to my
shift the
right.
other shift to your left
So
then.
shift the other way.
Yeah. Go to your
Shift
left
this way.
a little
It's
bit
to my
more.
left. A little
Yes.
bit more.
A little bit more. Yes. So now
Okay.
you're directly in the camera. Good. All right. Yeah.
Mhm.
So as you were saying,
Yes, there's a book uh, that I'm reviewing right now, and it's a book called The Color of Law.
the color of the law.
And The Color of Law.
Color of law.
The
Okay.
Color of Law.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that is uh, uh, the last book I gave you was hold on, let me pull that up and let me look at my book library thing here real
Okay.
quick. There's a lot of the answers we're looking for is out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that um, we're not tapping into where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh no, let me do it over. Where should I do this? I'm trying to get the proper name for it. Um, so I want to give you the name of the writer as well. And this book is what I'm reading right now, and or by Richard Rothstein or
Okay.
Rothstein.
Kind of hold the cover up so we can see what it at least look
Um,
like.
okay, let me find the That's the old cover. Well, it's one of the covers here. Um, when you're live, it's amazing the way how many things go wrong.
I know, never ends, you know. But
I was live.
that's what it means to go live, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was live the other day, and I had to look for some information, and these are things that you sort of get
Hmm.
uh, right away. The color of law.
The color of law. Okay.
Yes,
Um, Move it to the left. Okay. Okay. I see that. Okay.
yes,
The color of law. All right. I'm gonna have to
yeah.
check that. Who is the author?
Richard Rothstein or
Okay.
Rothstein.
Rudstein.
Yeah, this would put a lot of our questions in perspective
Mm-hmm.
because you get to see how busy our counterparts were during slavery, at the close of slavery,
Mm-hmm.
with the chain gang. You know, a lot of guys that were in the chain gang, they were innocent guys that would just get picked up if they went to a certain town,
All right.
you know. And also, Ava DuVernay does this documentary called The 13th Amendment, I think.
Okay.
I think that's the name of it. And she covers a lot of that in there as well. And the reason why I'm pointing us to that direction is that in terms of what's out there, is that we're seeing clearly what's happening on one side,
Mm-hmm.
but we really need to see what's happening on the other side. And one of the things I gathered by between the book I gave you last time called The Second Founding, this book, the Color of Law, and all the little uh, bits and pieces I've been just doing the research.
Mm-hmm.
And from the 60s, we had a really great momentum, from the civil rights movement. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the momentum was really, really good. So the folks that were against it in high places, they had to come up with they had to come up with things that would kill that momentum. And one of the things that they did was to increase crime rate,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when the crime rate was going up, okay, it looks like, okay, I'm sorry I'm getting disturbed here.
That's all right.
But
He's trying to get on.
yes, he says on the link I send. So let me see, the handle. Use the
DELSOUND.
handle DELS. Use the
OU.
handle Del Sound. Uh, on Skype directly. The link has
Yeah,
expired.
just add the link and yeah, just add me and just dial in. Yeah. Sorry about
Okay.
that, folks. These are some of the technical
Yeah.
situations that we have to go through when you're doing a live stream. But
Yeah.
let this not distract from the
They
information that we're
distract us.
sharing. Okay.
Yes. So just to I'm not going to give the whole timeline,
Mm-hmm.
but when to kill the momentum, uh, somehow crime started going up. So we're looking at the end of Lyndon B. Johnson, who at the table decided that they're going to start taking care of African Americans, right? To crime going up. So when Nixon comes in, that's his new motif, is they wanted to bring crime down. And then we had the influx of drugs,
Mm-hmm.
which leads us to the crack era, and so now it's drugs, and it's crime rising, and it's drugs, and this is where we get into those crime bills that were initiated from the Reagan administration, which was added to when Bush comes in. And then we know that the Clintons also had, I think they started the Three Strikes and You're Out
Right.
program, or one of them in the mix, they started it. So I'm still getting the research, I'm still getting it together.
Right.
But my point is, why would you go through all that trouble to throw people off
You know,
of
when
something of something that is progress? So it's an interesting um, account of events that we're looking at, that we've experienced, those of us that are alive now, and then what we're seeing today. Now look at what's happening today with the protests. It's peaceful protests with an influx of folks who are not part of the protest, but they're the ones vandalizing it.
trying to stir up stuff.
And so now
Hmm.
it turns the peaceful protest into a riot,
Right.
and now the police are getting involved, and you have this whole thing going on, and so yeah, we're seeing one side, but I think with the books that I mentioned that we need to do some research with, and there are more books too, but I'm just saying these would sort of bring us close to the focal point
Hmm.
as to why we are in the position that we are
Right.
right now.
And the,
Yeah.
the thing that puzzles me, and this bothers me a lot over the years, I
Hmm.
mean, it is a fact that when people are disadvantaged, when people do not have jobs and they don't have the basic opportunities afforded to some, crime is going to happen because it's all about the survival of the fittest. You see, crime is going to automatically go up. So
Hmm.
the real solution is not prison. The real solution is creating opportunities for people. And when I say people, I mean everyone, blacks, white, Latinos, whatever.
Hmm.
Create opportunities for everyone. And that in itself will bring down a lot of the crimes that we see taking
Hmm.
place all over the country.
Well,
But
I didn't put, I'm sorry, I didn't put this component in there.
mhm,
The reports of crime rising weren't true at that time.
see, so it's something that they fabricate just so that they can make
It was
arrests,
fabricated.
just so that they
It
can
was
make arrests.
fabricated.
Sad, sad, sad.
It's sad. It's a sad situation.
It's very disturbing that we consider ourselves a civilized society. You know, we are the first one to rush into other countries to tell them how to live their lives
How to be civilized, yes.
and how to be
Hmm.
civilized. And here we are, cannot get civilized, not even for a moment, for a lasting moment. So the hypocrisy of it all.
Hmm.
um, uh, just this morning I read that 5 million people were arrested in New York City between 2006 and 2019. Nearly
Hmm.
half of that arrest were African Americans.
Yeah, and it stems from that same thing. It stems from
So it's still
some.
going on today.
Yes, it is. It's sort of like the theory of uh, when Jesus was born, in the Bible story, they
Hmm.
said that King Herod he sent out people to
To
you
kill all the
know
firstborn,
to
right?
kill all the firstborns. Same thing like with Moses, to kill all the firstborn, because there's a fear of a Messiah that's going to be born,
Hmm.
and of course we're looking at it from a metaphoric standpoint. We're looking at it from, so the Messiah is not necessarily a person per se, but the Messiah might be something like a new system that's coming.
It's a new
So
system,
it's
and
a new
also
system.
the fear of black and brown people becoming the majority in this country. So I feel that some white people, not all, are
Mm-hmm.
threatened by that fact that America is changing. Um, Whether you look at it for the better or for the worst, there's a lot of fear
Mm-hmm.
going on now, and black and brown people are the ones who all of this fear
Mm-hmm.
is being taken out on.
Well, and you could look at it all types of angles because no one really wins if anyone is going to try to prevent the changing of the guard.
Hmm.
If life is bringing a change of the guard, you just got to go with it.
I think I think
Even. Mhm,
I think that I think that things and times change whether or not
mhm.
we 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 um
We're ready. Yes.
we're
Hmm.
we can appreciate it. Things and
Hmm.
times change. What used to be 30 years ago will not be today. And so there are certain
Hmm.
changes that take place that we as human beings, like it or not, we have absolutely no control over. And
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
when you have no control over things, the first reaction is to be fearful or to be defensive instead of allowing things to take its natural course and see whether or not
Hmm.
it's the right way or the wrong way. But people are not using the mind and the brain that God gives to them. So they just jump to conclusion, and a lot of people jump on the bandwagon and just started hating on each other without
Hmm.
without without a valid reason. That's how I see it, at least.
Well, we also have the issue of Africa being the continent that it is, and we have other ethnicities, um, especially places like China, going to um, Africa. Um, we're not being hysterical and running around and hanging anyone and
I know, right?
changing the law and treating anyone, ill-treating and what have you. Life is just following its course, you know. Um, but I guess in some aspects, you when you're a threat, it's just a threat that you just some people they're just gonna go down. Um,
Blindly
they're
and
gonna
wildly.
they're just gonna be going down,
Yes,
without
yes.
really making the right adjustments. And it doesn't have to be where you're going down. I mean, look, what Mike Tyson was my generation of a boxer, right? Or
Hmm.
maybe it was your generation of a boxer. He was undisputed. At some point, Mike lost the fight. You,
Exactly. I
you can't
mean,
win. You can't win at
cannot
all.
win all the time, you
And
know?
look who beat him. Look, it wasn't even a fighter that anyone paid any proper mind to. He got a lucky punch in and
Right, right.
he took out Mike.
And that's life. It happens like that.
I mean,
Yeah,
it is what it is. and
exactly.
and like for example, life after this COVID thing here, life is not going to be the same.
It will
we
never
just
be the
have to
same.
we
We
just have to
have to
make
adjust.
that
Yeah,
we
we
have to make that adjustment.
hmm
Life is never going to be going back to the same after this.
never, never, never. And the thing with this COVID thing also is that I don't know for you, Sam, but it puts a lot of things into perspective for me
Hmm.
personally, and these perspectives are right perspectives, nothing wrong about them, because
Hmm.
it sparked something in me that wasn't really there before, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
now I feel like I can conquer the world, whatever that means. But I feel more empowered.
uh,
I feel also like there are more opportunities available to me now than before COVID, because the pressure is on me to create those opportunities and to make them work in my favor. You see,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a time to blame anyone for your successes or for your failures. We all take responsibilities for those, in spite of the fact that we know that the card the cards aren't lined up in our favor a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be able to step over those hurdles and make something of ourselves regardless of the
Mm-hmm.
obstacles that we face on a daily basis. And I believe that now more than ever, especially for us in the creative space, the
Mm-hmm.
creative
Mm-hmm.
spaces, we have a better chance now because, to me, the playing field has suddenly leveled. The playing field
Mm-hmm.
has suddenly leveled. You see, everybody is embracing live streaming now. Major television network are going, live streaming. I think Broadway is shut down for the rest of the year, something like that. Schools have to change the way in which they educate their
Mm-hmm.
pupils.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you would deem it a good change or a bad change. It's all a
I
matter of
think
opinion. But
it's
for me, I think it's a good
mhm.
change.
Well, put it this way: if this change was supposed to happen when slavery was abolished here or around the world, and the powers that be kept putting things in the way and kept putting things in the way and
Hmm.
kept putting things in the way, um, and I'm talking on an international level, so I'm not just talking
Right.
about just our brothers and sisters here um, that dealt with the tearing up of their financial district in Oklahoma, or the financial districts that they had in Florida, or the Rosewood district.
Right.
There's a lot of attempts that our brothers and sisters here made to improve
Hmm.
themselves, and they got torn down. It was torn
Yeah,
down.
because yeah.
Um, then in the Caribbean, efforts were made there. Those were sort of torn down. In Africa, those were torn down too. Our brothers in South America and Central America. There was a time when all these leaders were just dying in a plane crash.
I know.
This one
Yeah.
came to fix something, and next thing he's dead in a plane crash.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
they've rigged
it's
something.
just been
It's
yeah.
crazy.
The world has been treading upon the diaspora mercilessly.
Okay,
So
so
now, let me just finish.
yeah, finish,
What's happening
Cyrus.
is that life is like water. It's sort of like, okay, you block it here, the water gonna come around there. You block it
Exactly.
there,
Hmm.
and what we're seeing now is like, okay, you blocked all the way you could block. What else you got? Because pretty much life is going to
It
change.
is going to change, like it or not.
Accept it. Yeah,
Like it
life
or
is
not,
going to
it's gonna
change.
change. That's just
Hmm.
how life is set up. Yeah, you're gonna
Yes,
have good times,
yes,
you're gonna have
yes.
bad times, you're gonna have good
Hmm.
days, and so on and so forth. A friend of mine just sent me a text. I don't know how legitimate this story is, but he just sent me a text saying to be careful because people are riding around in police uniforms making arrests and arresting people and hanging them. Just this morning, there was a report that someone was hanged here in Jersey, in the southern or central part of New Jersey, and it seems to me that
Hmm.
people are being kidnapped and hanged. I don't know
Mm.
about this police thing, people riding in police uniforms, but that doesn't sound far fetched to me.
Hmm.
Knowing
Hmm.
the climate in which we are in, and anything is possible now. And so we have to be very careful, um, especially when we're out in these strange areas. You know, we have to be around. We have to be aware of our surroundings at all times because you just don't know. There's some sick people out there, and they're looking to do more harm than good. So
So there have been a couple hangings.
there have been at least what, three
In
or four hangings.
There's a few. There's a few in the last 3 weeks, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
So
And I
no
don't
one
see
really
black
knows.
people taking a rope, hanging it around their neck and jumping from a tree. I just don't see that, you know.
So there's
Um,
something is going on.
yeah, something is going on, definitely.
Something is
You
going
know, so
on,
this
and
this information doesn't sound far-fetched to me. I don't know if it's true, but I'm just saying
mhm.
that you never know, you know.
Well, the authorities better jump on that,
Yep.
because if it's people playing police officers, I mean, how does one know
Who is the
if it's a
right
real
cop or the wrong cop?
police
Exactly.
officer or not?
Especially in this climate where a lot of people don't
In this
trust
climate
police
right now,
in the first place. Yeah.
so what people might have to start doing, if that's true, they would just have to ignore the lights and go to the nearest precinct.
Yes, just drive to the nearest precinct.
Drive to the nearest precinct, because like right now you don't know
Especially at
if the
nights.
person that's pulling you over, right, if someone is
Yeah,
pulling you over,
is a real cop.
just GPS to the closest police precinct and get there. And if it's legit, then they'll give you the ticket there, or whatever
Right,
it is.
right.
They'll just do that there, um, if that's the case.
We are in
But
some real.
there's no if you're and any one of us, if we're driving, traveling, and we're getting pulled over, we don't have a way to confirm if this is a police officer or not.
No, we don't. We don't. Especially if it's a unmarked vehicle too, which they do drive in sometimes. You see, here in Newark, they have yellow cab police cars. Seen at least two of them,
Hmm.
and you would think that it's a yellow cab, but it's not. It's a cops. You see, so they're using all
Hmm.
kind of techniques and disguises to make arrest. You know, which is bad.
Yeah, but
Um,
if they're doing that, then that could be another, and well, I wouldn't say it's a fabrication, but it's probably a strategy to deter the higher ups from defunding the police departments.
well, you
So
never
you
know
may
what
have
they
some
will try.
disgruntled cops out
Yeah.
there,
Hmm.
um, doing things. Now, look, remember now when the protests started, there were, um, the folks that were vandalizing the place. Some of those people vandalizing were law enforcement people.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's not a far fetched
No, it's
thought at
not.
all.
It's not. You know,
You know,
in North
so we got to
Carolina,
be careful with that.
a racetrack lost nearly all of its sponsors because the owner of the racetrack decided to sell a Bubba rope. Bubba, the race car driver who
Hmm.
spoke out against the Confederate flag, this
Hmm.
owner of a racetrack decided to sell a Bubba rope on Facebook. So he lost almost all of his sponsors and some of his racers due to that incident. And
Hmm.
it goes to show you that some people are just determined to stir up hate and to wear it on their sleeves like badges of honor, you know. And I don't know about you, but for me, whenever I go into certain neighborhoods, I'm
Hmm.
uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable, especially when I look
we
around and I'm the
we
only.
all are.
Yeah, I'm very
We all
uncomfortable.
are.
Um, I don't know if it's fear, just an uncomfortable feeling.
Hmm.
I think your friend is joining in. Hello, sir.
Hello, hello.
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Awesome, awesome. Sam, can you hear him? Sam, are you there? Sam? Okay, I think I hope we didn't get Sam cut off. Let's see how we do this now. 1 second, sir. You're still here with me, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Um, it seems as if we lost Sam. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can bring him back in. Just stay on the line for me. Um, yeah, we were discussing police brutality and all of that stuff. Okay, let's see if we can get Sam in here. Um, so when you're doing live stream and stuff, you never know what is gonna go wrong. So okay, join
Okay, so
call.
I'm actually live on the call right now.
Yes, you're live on the call right now. I'm just gonna try to patch Sam back in here. Um, if I can, let's see if I can bring him in here. Okay, let's see. Uh-oh. Are you there? Are you still there? Okay, it's not there. All right, so let me continue talking until I can figure this thing back out. Um, okay, Sam?
Hey.
Okay, I don't know what happened. Your friend joined in, and I'm gonna try to merge the call, but he may put you on mute. I'm trying to see how to do a conference situation here. Um, they don't make these things easy for us.
So what if he has a Skype ID? Can you call out and join him in?
That's what I'm trying to do right now. Let's see, resume call and see what happens. Okay, you there?
I'm here, sir.
Okay, okay. So you're there, and Sam. I think what it does, it puts one of you guys on hold, and take the other call. So all right, hold on 1 second for me, please. Okay, Sam. Sam. Sam, are you there? All right. So it's not allowing a conference situation. I'm still
Mm.
trying to see. So what may happen is that we may have to talk individually. And did were you hearing the conversation when I was talking to him?
No, I didn't hear anything.
Okay. So I'm not sure how this is gonna work. Okay, let's try this. What's his ID here? His ID isn't even showing up. All right. Let me put you on hold and ask him for his Skype ID. All
Okay.
right. What's his name? Let me ask him.
Curtis Henry.
Hey, Curtis. Curtis, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is, what is your Skype handle?
Curtis Henry.
Curtis Henry. All right. So what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna try to see if I can find you and then add you to the call. All right.
Okay.
Because it seems as if that's the only way I'm gonna be able to do all of us. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, this one is you right here. Okay.
Okay.
All right, add. All right, you there now, right? You still there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, let's see if I can get Sam back in here. Um, Sam, you there? Okay, Curtis, you there? Okay, so it's not taking us it's not taking us together. It's taking us one at a time, which is not a good situation. So
Do we
so
need to restart again or what?
um probably
Yeah.
probably, but we don't want to do that because we're 45 minutes inside the conversation already.
Yes,
So we
yes.
we need to figure this out. Let's
I,
see. He's calling you, right?
no, there's someone else. I'll call
Okay.
him back here.
I think one of the okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. We can do another hookup here. Um.
Yeah, do a hack. Do a hack.
Okay. 1 second. Let me call him back and tell him to call me back on. Uh. Okay, Curtis, are you there? Curtis.
Yes, sir.
All right. We may have to do another kind of a hack here to in order to get us all three of us on. I may have to have you call in on are you on Facebook right now?
No, I'm not, but I can sign up.
Okay, so sign on Facebook and go to your Facebook Messenger, and then I will have you
I'll have
call
to
in
do that on
from.
the lap. I'll have to do that on the laptop. I don't have Messenger on my
Okay,
phone, so let me
yeah.
get to the laptop right
Okay, get to
now.
your laptop, and once you get that done, you can I will give you my name. My name is Delroy Souden. Souden. So you're gonna connect through Messenger with me from that, and then all of us will be on the call. There's always more than one way to skin a chicken or whatever they say.
Okay.
All right, so let me make sure that I'm getting on Facebook right now also. these things happen, they shouldn't happen, but they do happen. And so, no matter how you plan, sometimes stuff don't go as planned, but we'll get through this. So just let me know once you're on your Facebook. I'm bringing up mine right now.
Okay, I am on Facebook.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm trying to computer is slow for some reason. All right, better yet, you're in Facebook now, so do me a favor. Um, call me from Messenger. Because I'm on my phone right now. So just call me from the messenger and I will try to get you on. I'm sorry? All right, Curtis, once you get on Messenger, just call and I'm going to switch back to Sam for a minute, okay?
Okay, Messenger.
Yeah.
I've never actually used the call
All
on
right.
Messenger, but
Here's what you do just search for my name, Delroy, DELROYSOUDEN. Gonna search for my name.
okay.
Okay, you find me?
I'm seeing two,
Okay, click on the one that has the like the black shirt on, not the suit, the black shirt,
not the
not
suit.
like
Okay,
a
so
jeans. Yeah.
that yes. Okay.
All right. Now, there you should see the little messenger symbol. You click on that, right? And it should tell
I
you. I
clicked
think
on
it's
it. I'm
gonna say
seeing.
message. All right. Give me your Curtis Henry, right?
Yes.
All right. Let me see if I can find you instead and call you. All right. Hold on 1 second, sir. We'll get through this. Let me search for you. Okay, I see several Curtis Henry comes up. Where are you located? Fort
Red.
Lauderdale?
No, yes, red jacket.
Okay, okay, red jacket. All right. So I find you. Now let's see if I can call you. I'm calling you now. Okay, I'm calling you now. 1 second. Look like it didn't take. Let's try again. Okay. You have to add me as a friend. I just sent you a friend request. Accept me, and then I should be able to call you.
Okay, confirmed.
Okay, there we go. All right, now let's try again. Let's try this bad boy again. 1 moment. I'm calling you now.
It's calling me. Oh boy, it's telling me Safari doesn't
Oh, you're in
support
Safari.
calling.
Okay. Do you happen to have Google Chrome?
Okay, I have Google.
All right. So do me a favor then. Switch over to Google Chrome, and that same thing that pops up, there's a little phone icon on it. You just use that to call me back. Just press on that and call me back. If not, I'll try to call you back.
Sign from Facebook. Sign into Facebook from Google.
Yeah, on Chrome, on Google Chrome, okay?
Okay.
And then I will try to call you back in about 10 minutes or so.
Okay, let me see how fast I can get through this.
Okay. All right. In the
Okay.
meantime, I'm gonna go over to Sam for a while. Hey Sam, hey Sam, you there?
sir.
All right. So I'm trying to have him switch over to Google Chrome because he's on a Mac and Safari isn't allowing him to talk to Facebook Live. So he's gonna try Google Chrome and we're gonna call again. Yeah, these things
Wow.
happen. They shouldn't happen, but they happen, So we'll
We're
get
chopping
through
it up,
this.
man. That's
Yeah.
what you go chop
Yeah.
it up.
This is live, folks. This is not pre-recorded stuff, but we'll do our
Yeah.
magic after the fact. So that's not even an issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did we leave off?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
We were
we
just
talk about
talking
so many
about
stuff.
we were just, chopping it up here and there. But we were basically saying that a change is coming, and regardless of how we feel about it, it is going to come,
Yeah, like it or not, we
like it
have
or
to
not.
adjust.
So,
We have to adjust.
and we were talking about, we were talking about something that you just got some information about, so hanging in Jersey.
Oh yeah, there was a hanging that took place. They found someone hanged. They did not identify the person as yet, so that information is forthcoming. We don't know if it's a black person or whatever, but
Hmm.
that information is forthcoming. Hopefully, that will be on the news by today. So stuff are
Mm.
happening, and they're not random acts. They're deliberate acts. You know,
Yeah.
and so we all have to be on high alert because we just do not know. There's some sick people out there determined to do some sick stuff, and we
Hmm.
just cannot allow ourselves to become victims of these random acts of violence. You know.
True. True.
So I am hoping though that these protests do not die down because the moment they die down, a lot of stuff are gonna get swept under the rug.
Back to business as usual.
Yeah, it's going to be back to business as usual. And if we allow that to happen, we would have lost right there. Now
Hmm.
they're talking about Chauvin's trial may not take place until March of next year, you see. And there even may be a possibility where they may move it out of Minneapolis to some other town. And we
Hmm.
know how those kind of arrangements usually turn out. They're going to be a jury of white people, predominantly or probably all white juries making the decisions. And
Hmm.
so that in and of itself would be the wrong kind of setting for a trial such as this to take place in. Wrong kind of environment, so we have to keep up the protests and find ways in which to boycott the system,
Hmm.
not going out there and arming police officers or tearing up people's property, but there are other ways we can boycott the system. One of
Hmm.
those ways is not to spend money with any business other than a black owned business because we know how valuable our dollars are to the American economy. Boycott, boycott, boycott. That's one of the ways in which to ensure and
So,
keep this going, not just boycott for a day or two and then
hmm
stop, return to normal. It has to be a consistent effort on every one of
hmm
us parts.
so I understand that July 7th is Blackout Day.
Blackout day. It should be the entire month of July, if you ask me.
So, yeah, I was just wondering about the July 4th. Um, are we allowed to get hot dogs and hamburgers and do a little bit of grilling, and then we do blackout?
I know, right? I know, right? 3 days later. I know. I know. It amazes me how
uh,
but you know what? I think this covert thing was a blessing in disguise. And the reason why I
hmm
say that it's I strongly believe that had the COVID-19 thing didn't occur and George Floyd was murdered, it would not have gotten people to rise up
hmm
because so many have it has happened to in the past and we didn't really rise up and protest in huge numbers against it. So the fact that people were home, they have nothing to do, a lot of us were bored, gives us something to do by rising up. Is that a good or a bad thing? I
It's a
don't
good
know,
thing
but I'm saying
because
that
we have to embrace the change. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's the changing of the guard. If we can't adjust to survive, then really, what it is we're doing. Oh
right,
man, I
right.
thought I'd turn this thing down.
Never ends, never ends. Uh,
Yeah, it's just everybody's. It's they're killing us today with
I know, I know.
it.
But it's all good. We keep doing what we do. This is an exception to what we normally do, so it will get better. So Sam, what's your opinion on the fact that Trump's poll numbers are going down? Do you think that really mean anything as far as his possible reelection? Because remember, these same polls had predicted that Hillary was going to win in a landslide. And look what happened. So, do you really put a lot of effort into
uh,
believing these polls?
I, I'm I'm sort of being I'm sort of tapping into the energy different than the poles. The energy I'm feeling is that it looks like folks are ready to turn the page.
Mm-hmm.
That's the energy that I'm getting. Folks are ready to turn the page, and it's you know now he is going to be tough to beat. It's not going to be a
Yeah, it's not going to be
simple
a walk in the park.
so Biden is not the fat lady hasn't sung us yet. Um,
And I'm still
but
asking the question, what are they waiting for?
well, it's the reason why it's a democracy. You have one group that feel one way, and then you have another group that feel another way, and in
But
the
we're
end.
only 100 and something days away from the election. I don't see no. Well, I understand the COVID kind of changed the trajectory of a lot of stuff, but I don't see no campaigns taking place. Um, well, I guess it's hard to have campaigns now in this kind of climate. But as far as television appearances, is he out there every day on every network, pushing and plugging away? I'm not sure. I'm just kind of like asking.
Well, I mean, everyone is on their game right now. So, um,
Yeah, Curtis is trying to call in. Curtis, can you hear
okay.
me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Curtis? Okay, why is it ringing over there? Okay, let me pick up over
I'm
here.
hearing you loud and clear, sir.
Curtis,
All right.
hello?
Yes,
I
sir.
think he's probably on. Curtis, hello?
Good
Hello?
morning, sir.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't think he's hearing me. What's going on this morning? All right, let's see. Gonna figure this one out though. Something just ain't working for us here this morning. I don't know what I've done, but I'm gonna try to call him back from my phone again. Yeah, I'll continue talking, Sam.
I forgot what I was saying.
We're talking about this whole situation with Biden and all right. Let me try to call him. I think my computer froze. Computer froze. All right, let's see if he's gonna. Yeah, man, but something has got to change for real. We have to see substantial change, and don't let these people
Hmm.
go into office and continuously taking us for granted. Because that's what you're out. We are being taken for real change as far as the and only it's only us who can demand this change and ensure that we are not taken for granted. I don't know what is happening with my brother here. Curtis,
Hello,
can you hear
hello.
me?
I am hearing you, sir. Very faint, but are you coming through?
Can you hear me? Hello? Okay, you're hearing me here. Okay, all right. So let's see how I can bring you into my board now because you're hearing me. So let's see if I can bring you in on my board. All right. Okay, I probably have to put you on speaker. All right, can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Are you still hearing me?
Yes, sir.
You didn't hack
I
them
guess
I'm
this is
before?
hearing you,
not our
sir.
day. This is not our day. All right, let's see. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I think he said he was hearing you.
Okay, I'm just trying to make sure my volume is up. Curtis, are you there?
Oh.
Yes, sir.
All right. Keep talking. Let me test my volume here.
Okay, Sam. Good morning, sir.
Sam, are you hearing me?
Good morning, Dr. Henry. How you feeling, man?
It's a pleasure to join you, sir.
It's a pleasure to wake up this morning, huh?
I know.
You know, with this COVID, sleep times are all over the place. So, we're up in the weirdest times of late. I've done a couple all nighters, uh, and then get to sleep the next day. So I think all of that is part of the new set of changes that we're dealing with.
Part of the trials, part of the hills and valleys we have to go through.
Yes, man. Yes, yes, yes.
So, how are things in your neck of the hood, sir?
In what the climate in reference to the current situation,
Yes.
things are pretty quiet in Lauderhill. I live in a very small city, and I would like to think that we get along with each other, and I have no problems with the police department on this side.
Okay, that's a good thing. That's always a
None
good thing.
whatsoever.
That's always a good thing. So Sam, keep talking. I need to go get a connection in the
Yeah.
meantime. Just you guys just keep rapping. Let me position this where you can hear each other. Okay, I'll be right. Take it away, Sam.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So we have Delroy doing a hack today. Apparently, he's I don't I'm curious to see how this hack is going to work. So is Dr. Henry just going to be on in an audio way, or were you trying to bring him in on the screen? So I was just curious to see how that would work. You know. So
Okay, I'm back. We're
uh,
still gonna do some hacking.
well, you still hack it? You're
Oh,
trying to hack him into the screen?
yeah, I'm trying to hack him into my mixer, so the volume
Oh, okay.
can be much better than it's sounding right now. Yeah, keep talking. Keep talking.
Okay. Okay.
So Sam, if you can,
Um,
Okay.
yes, sir. You were saying?
yes, Sam, I'm saying since you are now the host, the temporary host,
So,
you can update me on what I've missed thus far.
well, what you've missed, the conversation went in different directions. We spoke on the both options we have for candidates in the upcoming election. We spoke on the state of Black America today, and I actually suggested some books that would bring perspective into our present state in the U.S. and also on a international level as well. So one of the books that was suggested was a book called The Color of Law by Richard Rothstein, and so we chopped it up a little bit there, and then between that we were trying to get you on live But the latest thing we worked on was apparently there has been another hanging. We don't have the proper confirmation on that, but apparently in Jersey somewhere there's been another hanging. Um, we spoke about police. Apparently, this is the thing. We're not confirmed on it, but apparently it says that uh, this
Yeah, the,
person probably was pulled over thinking it was the police that was pulling them over, and then into the hanging. So that's sort of like some of the information that we're getting there. So we
yeah.
have to confirm that. But that's pretty much the crux of it, and trying to get you on screen as we chop it up here.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we may have to find next time we go the what you call it, the Zoom way, and so that we all can go on live and the screen at the same time. In fact, yeah. So next time we go Zoom, so we all can have an easier conversation. We all can show up on the screen all together. Sir, Mr. Henry, what is your opinion on the recent news that American troops are what was the story again about the troops and a bounties type thing where they are paying people to kill the troops, something like that? I didn't get the full story on
Oh,
that.
the yeah,
And that the
apparently
president was updated and didn't do anything about it.
hmm.
Okay, that,
Have you heard any
no,
such
I
thing?
haven't. That who was paying the troops, or who's paying
Russia.
who to go?
Russia.
Russia was
Russia was
spraying to kill
actually
American
hand in hand
troops.
with Afghanistan to kill
Yes, to kill
American
American
troops.
troops, correct.
Okay. Well, I remember growing up, my grandmother have always say when you lay down with a dog, you wake up with fleas.
Yep.
You
Mm.
have to be very careful whom you call your friend. And sometimes not every skin teeth you see is a smiling face. And from what we've been seeing since this number 45 has been in office, he has called what has been declared enemies of America, those are his friends.
Mm-hmm.
He praised Kim Jong-un. Now, I am not saying Kim Jong-un is an enemy. I know very little of the man other than what is said in the news. I know
Right.
very little of Putin other than what is said in the news. But these are the two leaders that he sort of got into bed with. And they have been enemies of America for as far back as I can think.
And
So now you have to...
go ahead,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Go ahead, sir. Finish your statement. I'm sorry.
Yes, you now have to ask yourself the character of the individual that we have in office. If he now chooses to buddy with individuals and countries who have been declared enemies of America for as far back as I can remember.
You took the words right out of my mouth because I was saying that, we don't know much about Putin or Kim Jong-un, like you say in the news, but Trump shows us every day who he is and what he is. And so knowing that he has those same tendencies as the so-called dictators, then it's a natural thing that he's going to lean more towards them than to the troops or loyalty to his own administration. Because I believe at this point, I don't think that Donald Trump wants to be president. He just wants a second term to show that, okay, I did it once, I can do it again. I sincerely don't think he wants to be a president anymore. Maybe he did, but with all of the pressure he's coming under, I think he's thinking differently, and I may be wrong.
Well, I don't know if he wanted to be president to begin with. I think he threw his hat into the ring at the beginning of the last election to boost his brand, to boost the Trump brand. And then before you know it, you realize that he's leading in the polls. And then I'm pretty sure he woke up one day and said, really?
Yeah, I'm sure he
They
was
want to vote for
surprised.
me? And he wrote a check his behind couldn't cash. And then all of a sudden he found himself sitting in the commander's chair and didn't know what to do.
Oh, and still don't know what to do because he doesn't take advice very well. He don't listen to anybody but his own voice.
That's another major part of his downfall. I think listening to advice of his team and his cabinet has had a high turnaround rate.
Hmm.
So that's telling right there of the issues that he's dealing with.
It is sad though. It's very sad that that we've come to this place, but it's gonna get even sadder if he is elected a second term. And I think that we shouldn't be fearful, but we should worry, you know, of that possibility of him getting a second
Be
term.
afraid. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Okay. You said it. You know, yeah, I think if he gets a second term, number one, he's gonna go after everyone who has ever said anything bad about him.
Well, that's nothing new. He's been doing that.
Well, he's been doing that, but not at a rate that I think he really wants to go. I think that he's going to attempt to change a lot of the laws, the Constitution, because let's face it, he has turned over a whole lot of pages since he's been there. And these are not pages for the good, they're all pages for the bad. And I'm still trying to figure out what is the purpose of the courts if they cannot stop him from doing certain things. And why is he allowed to do certain things? I don't get it. Maybe there's something I don't understand fully.
Well, since he's been in there, he's appointed a lot of judges as well. There's a lot of judges he's appointed during his tenure so far. So there is a strategy to the madness, you know. Maybe I need to just look that up really quick. But in terms of his judge appointments, it's a pretty high number so far. You know, so that's another thing that we have to consider.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, is there anything else you want to talk about, Sam? I mean, okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this one question before you say anything. I may have asked this question before, but how do we as Caribbean folks fit into this whole scenario that is playing out before us, being that we are living in this country? How do you think we should react or respond or even digest what is happening currently?
Well, we're all in it together. Um, we live here. We're citizens. You know, we pay taxes. We abide by the law. We that's what this country is all about. So how we respond is we're all pretty much the same. You know, if we get pulled over or we have some situation, as we can see, our brother who calls himself Cablazian, you know, that went out the door when he got arrested 2 years ago.
Cablazian.
You know, he called himself Cablazian, but when he saw the police report, they just put black. So it doesn't, you know, there's really not, there's no suit you could put on or badge you can have or qualifications of degrees on the wall that will make us different to our brothers and sisters here. So we just got to deal with it. We're in the pot, and we're getting cooked with everything else. So
I know.
We'll be the best we can be within, you know, under the circumstances.
And Dr. Henry, what's your opinion on this? And I think he's left the building. I'm not sure it's still going, but anyway. Yeah. You're there. Okay.
Okay.
I had some work going on in the apartment, so I muted my microphone.
I see.
To avoid the noise filtering over.
Okay.
But yes, like Sam said, we have to realize that we all in this thing together. It reminds me of a question that's often asked. If your neighbor house is on fire, and you don't speak to your neighbor, do you just let it burn or do you help them put the fire out? Because pretty soon, if you allow their house to burn, the fire will be coming for yours.
Exactly.
So you have to realize that we have to help each other. We have to stand behind each other. We have to join this fight for struggle for freedom, for independence, for equality. No matter who it's being perpetrated, whatever injustices is being perpetrated against.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to join the fight because pretty much sooner or later it's going to be knocking at our doorstep. Several months ago, I was telling my co-workers, prepare yourself. This coronavirus. And they said, what? You mean that thing in China? I said, yeah. They said, that's in a small village in China. I said, it's coming. Pretty soon it'll be knocking on your doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happened? Just a couple short months later, this was in January, I was having these conversations. No one took me seriously. I went to the hardware store and I bought up a couple masks that I had for me and my family. And somewhere into the beginning of March, everyone around the company started scampering around looking for masks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any? I said, yes, I do. Could I get some? I said, no, that's for my family. Because no one...
Because they were warned, right?
Yeah, no one listened that it's going to be knocking on your doorstep pretty much, sooner or later, it's going to be knocking at you.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these groups who think that somehow black lives don't matter or that all lives matter, what are you going to do when you end up there with a baton across your head? Then you're going to be looking at me and want me to join your protest. But then you wasn't there for me when I was shouting injustice and crying for equality. So we all have to get together and fight against the common enemy that we do have. And I don't know if you want to put a face or a name on that enemy. We know it's there.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. So before we run away, I just want to throw in, we were talking about in terms of appointed judges.
Mm-hmm.
So it says here, has articles, 3 judges nominated by President Trump, including 2 associate justices for the Supreme Court of the United States, 53 judges for the United States Courts of Appeals, 143 judges for the United States District Courts, and 2 judges for the United States Courts of International Trade. There are currently 44 nominations to Article 3 courts awaiting Senate action. Include 43 for the district courts and 1 for the Court of International Trade. There are currently 71 vacancies on the U.S. district courts, 2 vacancies on the U.S. Court of International Trade, and 2 announced federal judicial vacancies that will occur before the end of Trump's first term. Let me see here. Trump has not made any recess appointments to the federal courts. So this is just a little bit of what's been happening. Now, were you aware of this, about him appointing judges?
No, I wasn't.
And these numbers are high, right?
Those are high numbers.
High numbers.
Imagine if he start, appointing more right now, then we know what that may lead to.
It's just something
More
to pay
disaster.
attention to.
Yeah.
As you can see, every time there's some leverage given to the folks on the scale at a lower level, certain things are taken to a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking that, the writing is on the wall and the things are being taken to a higher level while certain things are being freed up on this level. So, when you think you got to the bottleneck, you're not there yet. Because the same people that you're talking about reforming and creating situations to reform, you're appointing the judges that could say yay or nay.
Mm-hmm.
And, they'll probably be saying yay or nay at a drop of a dime by your influence.
Yes.
So that's the other issue there. Is that something we want to um, either allow, or is that something that we're going to be cool with? I mean, what would be the workaround? You
Is
know,
you
what would
know
be the workaround?
one of the things that I really struggle with is we know that even if Trump leaves office tomorrow and let's say Biden gets in, a lot of things will not change. Because if you ask me, both sides are playing for the same team, whatever that team may be. And so both sides have their own agenda. Um, and like I stated earlier, the presidency is just a figurehead position. You know, he really
Hmm.
doesn't run the country. I believe that every president does what he has been told to do. And at the end of it all, it's all about money and power. So on the surface, it looks like some may be working for us while
Hmm.
others are not. But at the end of the
Hmm.
day, they are on the same team, if you ask me. I don't believe that even if Biden wins, he's gonna go in there and save America. He's gonna have to do what he's told to do, because money, at the
Hmm.
end of the day, money is what run this country. And by any
He'll
means
have some
necessary,
leverage.
he'll have some
There'll be a
leverage.
little bit.
He will have a
There'll
little
be a
bit
little
of
bit of
leverage.
leverage.
Yeah, I agree. He will have a
Hmm.
little bit of leverage, but how much and how far can he truly go? Um,
Mm.
I I don't know, and that's yet to be seen, I guess.
Yeah.
Elroy,
Yeah.
I'm glad you echoing those sentiments because I've always been saying president doesn't operate in a vacuum. He doesn't make unilateral decisions. It may seem like that to the general public. I think that there's an unseen hand in how this country is run.
Of course, there is.
Because
Yeah,
the powers that be, the real money, the Bill Gates and the others who we don't even hear about, who probably have more money than Bill Gates, those that the unseen hand, I don't think they're going to sit back and leave it up to you and I to determine who's going to run this country just
absolutely
because a
not.
guy is popular and we like him. We like the
Absolutely not.
janitor, so let's put him in there. No, it doesn't work like that.
No, no.
It doesn't work like that. I think the president is selected and not elected.
Of course, he was selected. I mean, the votes alone in the last election tells you that he was selected. You know, in a true democracy, the majority wins. The majority is the one who leads the country.
Supposed to, Delroy. Supposed to. Hillary Clinton had the largest popular vote in the history of elections in America. Why isn't she sitting in the Oval Office right now?
That's my point. That's exactly my point. You see? And so, like Sam and I discussed on our last show, they need to examine that electoral college situation and do away with it once and for all and let true democracy reigns in whatever shape and form that may look like, because America is not a democracy.
Do you
We're
care to
being
define for
sold
me
that
what a
lie that
democracy?
that this country is a democracy.
Delroy, do you care to define for me what a true democracy is?
A true
Really?
democracy is one where the people have the power. The power is handed in. This is my definition now. I don't know if that's the actual definition, but the way I view democracy is that the people put you in power and you work on behalf of the people, not the other way around. You see? Because if this was a true democracy, we wouldn't have cops out there killing people left, right, and center, innocent people, abusing people, not just the cops, but other segment of government also. You see? This is a very exploitive system of government. It prey on the plights of the poor, which they never talk about. And they always talk about the rich and the middle class. The poor doesn't exist in the eyes of this society. And in a true democracy, you care for everyone, not just a certain segment of your population. And this isn't it. This is not the democracy.
Do you feel powerful?
If I feel powerful,
Yes.
in my own way, I feel powerful. That's why I'm talking. And that's why we're holding this conversation right now. Is our way of showing our power, speaking our power, our truth to power, if you may.
I was I was going to say I really don't know how effective everything is in terms of in reference to power. You know, and I'm not sure how that works in how much we can trust the process. Will I take part in the process? Yes, I will. Um, but as to say, well, do I know that all the nuts and bolts are going to go towards the desired outcome of the majority, if any, or those of us that share the same sentiment
Mm-hmm.
at this time? I really don't know if it's going to actually do that. That's something that's left to be seen.
Yeah, they talk the talk, but will they walk the walk? You know?
And which talk is that at the end of the day? I cannot sit
Exactly.
here and I cannot sit here and tell you in any great detail what Trump's policies are. And I don't even think his supporters can do this. If
No,
you
they
ask them, like,
can. They
well,
can.
why should we put him back in office? And they're mumbling. They cannot give me a definitive statement or series of issues why this man should be re-elected into office. I actually heard an individual say, this is the analogy he drew. He said, if you're in a casino and every time you go to roll the dice, an idiot blows on it and you win, would you want to remove that idiot from over your shoulder? He said no, because he's an idiot, but every time he blow on the dice, you win. So I'm going to fight as much hard as possible to keep that idiot standing over my
there,
shoulder.
even though you know he's an
To
idiot.
keep him there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was his rationale for wanting Trump in office, because his business was flourishing and Trump was a good thing for his business. Not that he agreed with any of Trump's policies or anything of the sort. It's just that Trump was good for his business. So then keep him in office.
Yeah,
But guess
money
what?
rules at the end of the day, you know. A lot
Guess
of
what, gentlemen?
Yeah.
The business has now failed.
Okay.
What do you do? The business has now gone belly up. What do you do?
Wonder if his thought process has changed too.
Well, I'm happy it's happening on his watch.
I know, right?
Could you all imagine all of the things that has transpired throughout this presidency? Had this been Obama in office?
Oh, they would have thrown him out. They would have found a way to throw him out.
Yeah,
He
would
would
have,
not
he
he would not have been there
uh,
this long.
He would have certainly lost the impeachment trial. That would have
Oh
been
yeah.
a done deal.
Oh yeah.
No, barring the impeachment, just everything else that's been happening.
Oh yeah, it would have been
Just-
thrown out. There wouldn't it wouldn't even be a long conversation, man. He would have been doomed.
Yeah, I mean I think I remember it was Obama's second month in office. You know, because when he came in, the economy was already bad. It was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the second month he was in, um, I remember he had a sit down. I don't know if it was a town hall. He had a sit down, and there was a sister who was saying, you know, I don't really feel any movement or any, you know. And I'm looking at the the program, and I'm saying to myself, wait, they're expecting this guy to turn this thing around in like 2 3 months.
That's the way
You
some
know,
people think.
they were expecting that he jumps in and the economy would just
Just gonna flip at it. Yep.
magically turn around.
Yep.
And you know, I thought that was really interesting that that folks are like, yeah, we're not really feeling the change, or we're not feeling anything. Well, you won't feel anything right now. You're
Not in
gonna have
two
to wait a
months.
little bit.
Not in 2 months. You're certainly not going to feel anything.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
and all this guy's been trying to do is to undo everything that Obama did.
And I think it's jealousy. I think it's jealousy and a combination of jealousy and hate. It's a combination
The
of
man want to
both.
get rid of Obamacare and name it Trump care to put his name. That's
So I mean,
to say the least.
is he that petty that when he got the roast from President Obama, that roast turned him into the guy he is right now in office?
He was always like that. It just bring out more of who he really
I
was.
mean, the roast was funny. You know, the
It
roast
was
was.
funny. It was
He got
funny.
him good on the roast. I gotta hand it to Obama. The roast.
He could
I mean, he.
laugh at himself. He has no
I
sense of
remember. I
humor.
remember that Rose because Amarosa at the time she looked more upset at what was said about Trump. I'm serious. I remember it. I'm like, God, look where she is now. Anyway, that's another story.
Well, that's like I said. He's had his administration has had a high turnover rate.
Yep.
That's unusual. I mean, that means it's not a successful venture at all in terms of the country.
And
You don't
he's
have enough people spending enough time in certain areas to have effective change.
I mean, for John Bolton to come out and say all that he said about the man, I mean, I don't know if he should have said those things, quite honestly. But if those things were really true, it confirms to us, the general public, what a lot of us already seen in some way or shape or form, you know.
Mhm.
But for John Bolton to come and say that without, I think he thought about it long and hard, and we can only conclude that he was telling the truth because we've seen signs of it. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
we've seen signs of it a lot of times, not just a few times, an awful lot of times. We just wanted it to be confirmed by someone who was closer to him than we are. You know,
Yeah,
but it's a sad situation when you think about it. When he leaves office, he's facing a lawsuit and quite possibly jail sentences. And I think he has to be very concerned about that even now.
Mhm.
Um, and the recent news was that he's taking these poll numbers very seriously, and they're making him somewhat depressed. I would too if I know that, okay, if I lose the election, I'm going to go to jail. I would have been
Yeah.
depressed too, starting like 2 years ago. Quite
I
honest.
heard I heard there's a warrant for his arrest in is it Iraq
In Iraq,
or Iran?
one of
In
those
Iraq?
countries, exactly.
Yeah,
So
I've never heard that before.
I know,
That's
right?
that's
That's a
that's
first.
that's, that's a first. Mm.
But
I mean,
how
if
do
that's
we?
true, you know.
I wonder now what life is gonna look like after Trump, because the last 4 years were torturous. We're still living the torture right now. What is life gonna look like after Trump? That's what I'm curious
There's
to.
one way to find out that we can bring this date closer.
What, by going out and vote?
Remember, the Luther said it. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. Or whatever you do, get out there.
I know.
If you are true believers that the voting process works, get out there and do it.
Yep.
I'm not a believer in it. Honest truth. I don't believe that system works.
I do not believe it works, but I vote anyway because I don't want, the thing is that this is how I view it. My one vote, work or not, could somewhat make a little bit of difference. So,
On the local level, on the
well, more
judicial
so at
level.
the local level, but I get up and I vote regardless, you know? And a lot of times I just go and I just vote for those people who I feel strongly about, and I don't even vote for the others because my thing is that I have to see some kind of action, you know? And in this climate right now, it cannot be just about what you're telling me. It has to be what you're doing to change the situation. I have to see work. It can't be just about talk, you see? And I'm still holding to the fact that despite of what they're saying about the possible pick for the vice presidency, I still think that Kamala Harris is the right pick for that in more ways than one from a legal standpoint, if you may. I even if she's not the vice presidential pick, she can be the attorney general. Either one of those would be a perfect pick for her. And I'm just hoping and praying that they will make the right decision. Whoever that may, it could also be Susan Rice because she served Obama very well. Stacey Abrams, who I kind of like, I don't know if she has the grit that it's going to take to really push the envelope.
Mm. Well, remember, remember now. This is a VP candidacy type thing. I
Right.
mean,
But they still have some power. They still have some power in their
to a
own
degree,
rights.
they'll be handling certain
Certain
things.
things.
The grit would have to be Biden. He would have to have that grit.
But
Um,
let's face it though, Biden's age is an issue at this point. And if God forbid he were to die in office, who would be able to really get up and go out there and step in from day one to really lead this country the best way possible?
well, that's the purpose of the vice president. I mean, same thing
Exactly.
happens to the president. You get the vice president. That person will step into to that role.
Okay, so looking at all these possible names that they're throwing out there, who do you feel strongly about? Who do you feel would be able to take up that reign and run with it right away?
I'm seeing eye to eye with you with the Kamala pick. I'm seeing eye to eye with you on that. You need someone in there that understands the playing field, and uh, I don't really see who else could fill that role right now, if
They're
there is
talking
one.
about Val Dempster. I think her name is from Florida. She used to be a cop,
Mm.
but that's all we know about her. That's all I know about her. I haven't really examined her true record to see what she has accomplished outside of being a law enforcement officer in Florida. But if that's the only strong point, that doesn't give her a shoe in. You see.
Mm.
But I truly love Stacey Adams.
Abram.
I think she's a very brilliant mind, you know. But Kamala Harris, I believe she is tough. From a attorney standpoint, she asks the right questions and she digs. Um, Fiery Elizabeth Warren, I like her too, but she's not right for this climate. You know, if it wasn't for what we're going through right now, I would say
Ah,
go ahead with her.
you'll
You
go with
know,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
I would say
I
go
can
ahead
see
with
that. I
her.
can see that.
But right now, this is not the time for Elizabeth Warren. She can come back maybe 2024 or whatever, but this is not the
What,
right time. Um,
what if he picks? What if he picks Bernie?
if he picks Bernie, then we have two geriatric patients running the country, and that wouldn't be a right thing either. I'm sorry.
Goodness. Uh, yeah, I think the only issue I had with Kamala was when she came initially to announce announced running. I don't know. I didn't like what happened
I think she should have waited until
in that Breakfast Club interview, and they tried to give her the homegirl vibe, and that was definitely not a good look. And then I don't know. She probably didn't know that Five had passed on, and so there was a lot of things that didn't add up. I just felt that she should have just be herself. You don't have to. If you're not a homegirl, then you don't have to be a homegirl. Be
exactly
who you are,
be
and
who you are, you know.
but in terms of why I started to pay attention to her, it had to do more with a lot of the legislative
Exactly,
moves of late,
exactly.
and I thought she was very, very thorough on those moves.
Hmm.
And I'm like, wow, if he should pick a candidate, she will definitely be
And that's what I
the
look at too.
candidate for these types of times right
Yeah,
now.
I look at the way she handles herself on the floor, and you can see
Hmm.
that she and the good thing about her too, she has a natural sense of humor, you know. But when it's time for her to get down to the tough questions and that,
Yeah,
and
well,
really dig, she get really serious about that, you know. Um, yeah, I think she would be the right pick in this time. I honestly do.
mm, yeah, well. Let's see what the higher ups say, because the higher ups they see the full court. We're just seeing part of it.
And who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Michelle Obama may surprise us as a VP. We never know. We've been told that
Won't
she's
happen.
not
It won't
interested.
happen.
You don't think
It
it will
won't
happen?
happen.
I
I don't know if
don't know.
I see I see
I
I see
mean,
Michelle more in the role of being the president. I don't know if I see Michelle being
a second fiddle, right?
not that it's second fiddle. I think her just the whole vibe. I don't see her filling a VP role. Her
Okay,
vibe would be actual being
Madam
president.
President. Okay,
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't feel the vibe of her doing. I could accept her more on a senator level.
okay, okay.
But as a VP, I don't see her as a VP. I see her as the actual person
President.
handling it.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I see her there.
Because that's a very intelligent woman too, you know. And
Intelligent, opinionated,
yes,
and I
and
think
she
there are
speaks
several
her
times
mind too.
she didn't listen to Barack. What make you think she's going to listen to to Joe?
I know, right? I know, I know.
And the question is too, who actually was running the country?
Hey, hey, probably her,
Exactly.
you know,
Huh?
But
So,
as you all as you all mentioned,
not to take anything away
from Barack.
from Barack, but
Hey, you never know. It's for us to,
but
it's for them to know, we to find out, right?
yep.
but gentlemen, do you all? Someone mentioned earlier about Joe Biden's age. Do you know that if in fact he's elected, he would be the oldest president to be elected into office at 77?
Yes, yes. And I mean, let's face it, the Joe Biden that runs with Barack Obama is not the same Joe Biden today. He's older, and that's evident. From a clarity of mind standpoint, I don't think he's as sharp as he was when he was running, especially during the first term. And so those things have to be taken in consideration as well. Um, so whoever he choose to pick has to be able to step in. God forbid something
Something
terribly go
happens to
wrong
him.
with him. You see, and so yeah. Once again, Kamala Harris to me.
That's the thing we're stuck. There were other running people that were running that I thought would have been a better situation. We're kind of stuck here
Yeah, we're
with
stuck.
Biden,
There's no way we can go right now.
and that's it.
Yeah.
It's a done deal.
And
You know.
even with Bernie, as much as Bernie was popular and everything, I have the same concern about him, especially after the heart attack. You see, so we really have to
Well,
take these
hand it
things
to Bernie.
seriously.
He got back on the trail and he was working out. He had his trainer with him, and I like the fact that he took that thing seriously.
Yeah, I like that fact too, but at the end of the day, he was still up there. He was still up in age,
Mm.
which is still of a concern. Joe Biden is a concern to me. I'm going to be voting for him, but still, because we know that Joe doesn't necessarily have a filter when it comes to what he says too, you know, and so you know, and so that has to be concerning in a certain way. But a lot of people are looking at it as if, okay, if Trump has the right to say things and get away with it, why can't Joe Biden? And I agree to a certain extent, but still, we just don't know.
I I don't see Joe going out of character too much, especially,
No, not too much.
I think he'll zone in with his advisors,
Yeah.
so I don't really see it. You see, Trump has just been raw all around.
Well, Trump don't listen to
So
nobody, man.
we've just seen someone go beyond, I mean, he went so far right that that Republicans themselves, especially black Republicans, they're like, that's not us. This situation is not even us right now.
Hmm.
So they are all, they might have to just vote the other way just to compensate the whole thing.
I know, I know. All
You
right,
know.
so
Listen, man, talking about age, I'm not questioning his age for a minute at 77, whether or not he'll be competent in the position.
mhm.
We look back, how old is Jimmy Carter right now? 90 something?
He's 90 something, yeah.
And in 95, I think, and he had enough sense to tell us don't vote for Trump.
I
So
know.
okay. Even at 95, he still have 2020 vision where that is concerned
I
to
know,
say,
right?
no, that's not it.
And he's still out there
That's not it.
building houses.
Yeah, so I don't,
And
77,
on a
yeah, he has a good
philanthropic
4 years.
level. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you say
No, I was saying on a philanthropical what's the word?
philanthropical.
Whatever the word is. Carter's still been he's doing his thing
Still building houses,
for
Habitat for
philanthropy,
Humanity,
and
man. Yeah,
yeah, well, around the world.
around
I
the
mean,
world.
um, he was a one-term president,
Mm.
and he's still actively doing stuff. You know, probably more than the others that rolled out.
I think
You
he's
know,
done more than all the others combined, if you ask me.
yeah, the other things
He's
that
really done a lot for humanity, period.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's something to be admired. Um, do we know the guy personally? Do we know the agenda? No, but you know,
He walked
he
the
he
walk.
he
It's
walked the walk.
he
You
walked the walk.
know,
Yeah.
at least as far as we can see.
Yes, as far as we can see.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Henry, any final thoughts? We're getting ready to wind down. Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share on this? So, whether it's on this conversation or anything else?
Help your neighbor. Join the fight for justice. Join the fight for equality. Do not sit back and think that everything that's going on today has nothing to do with you. Like I said, pretty soon it will be knocking on your door.
Yes, sir.
It will be knocking on your door. Do not sit by silently and look at injustice continue to go like a fungus.
Mm.
Pretty soon you'll be breathing it and it will affect you in some way, shape, or form.
Yes, sir. I believe that. That's why I get up and I go out there and I protest here in my city, man, because I'm like, we are all in this one boat together. We're all in the boat together, you know? And once we start to isolate ourselves from other people, that's when we really are in the wrong, you know? Don't expect people to fight our fight when it's time for us to fight. If we can't fight their fight alongside them, you know? So united we stand.
I told someone a few days ago, you may not agree with every struggle that's happening, but allow those people to fight on their front for what they think is right.
Yes.
And if you believe in something else, then go fight for that. But do not try to bring someone else down because you do not agree with what they may be fighting for at this time.
Exactly.
People are saying that certain struggles that are happening, oh, you all are equal opportunists, because this has nothing to do with George Floyd. No, George Floyd was the catalyst. That was the spark. Just like Rosa Parks was the spark that led the movement in the 60s. George Floyd is the spark that's leading the movement now to create change. Look around and see what's happening. A lot of changes is happening right now, not just where police brutality is concerned, but changes in the law, on the books.
In businesses, across the board, a lot of changes are taking
A
place.
lot
now.
of changes happening.
And it's a beautiful thing.
So when other people get up and start to fight for change on their front, we can't call them opportunists and say they're piggybacking off the George Floyd situation. That was the spark that started the freedom movement. So whatever it is on your front that needs to be changed, this is the time to get up and fight for it.
I agree 100%.
And don't sit back. Because if you allow the fire to get cool, let it cool down, it'd be harder for you to get up 6 months from now.
You're so right.
And scream. Then people will be like, oh no, we don't need any more noise at this point in time. This is the time to make noise.
No, right? I know. Sam, any final?
Yeah. I share the similar sentiments. However, I really want. I think we probably need to do this another day this week.
Yes.
Are we going to be calling it Chop It Up? What are we going to be calling it? Lemonade, Soulfood and Lemonade? What are we going to be calling this thing?
Whatever.
I think the three of us need to be on screen, just chopping it up.
Yeah. Next time we will use Zoom.
I know maybe Thursday morning I'm available.
Thursday is kind of bad for me because I work. My only free days are Sunday, Mondays, and Tuesdays. So I don't know if you guys are available in the evenings. I don't know, but
we need to put one together.
I'm sorry?
Delroy, what does your schedule look like on Thursday evenings?
Thursday evenings, I'm free.
Okay, lovely.
What time though? What time on Thursday?
No, this is a bit selfish here. I am a member of Toastmasters.
Okay.
And I hold Thursday evening meetings at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
And I would like to extend an invitation for you to join me on Toastmasters.
Okay, we'll do it. I'll do it. You mean me and Sam or just,
Well, Sam, it has to be with his availability, because if he has to be in the studio, then I by no means want to pull him away from that.
Okay.
Only if he's free, then
Sam, will you be free?
But you're on the platform of the Chop It Up, and you want to have a selfish request.
Well, reason being, it had nothing to do with what we were talking about. So
I know. I'm just messing with you.
He's messing with you.
But that's all right. That's why we need to do the Chop It Up thing.
I know.
Okay. Interruption. Point of order here. Delroy, maybe
Yes,
I was introduced to you by Sam as Dr. Henry. I want to clarify something here.
You're not a doctor.
Dr. Henry is a sobriquet. It is a pseudonym under which I wrote. It's a sobriquet. It's a stage name that I performed under.
That's all
that
right.
I'm known as within the entertainment industry.
I call people doctor anyway.
I'm just letting you know. So if we happen to be in a meeting and you happen to fall down and pass out, the most I can do is stomp you in your chest. But I cannot revive you,
That
sir.
is funny. That is funny right there.
He's a doctor, but he's not licensed.
I know. Oh, I hear you. That's funny. Anyway, gentlemen, it was good having you guys on, and let's use Zoom next time to so that we all can be on one accord. Next time.
It's sad that you all being deprived of seeing this beautiful face. So Zoom will Zoom will bring us a lot more
Zoom will
up close
definitely
and
zoom in
personal.
on it.
Yeah, let's work it in. Let's work it in, and I think what I would like us to do too is to also feature probably one or two main things that we are doing, because
Yeah,
one of the ideas I had is that we're all entrepreneurs. We're doing slightly different things, which is great. And I think if we can sort of just have a platform that we come together, chop it up during the day,
talk about what we're doing.
once or twice a week,
Hmm.
and then talk about what we're doing as well.
Yeah.
Um, and then, if we're going to do politics, or we're going to, talk about, I don't know, food, dishes,
Hmm.
dating, whatever.
And I think
Um,
one good thing too would be to invite other entrepreneurs on the
yeah,
conversation to share what they're doing as well. Because at the end of the day, this is about empowering Black people and Black businesses. Because there are a
yeah,
lot of Black businesses out there that we don't know about. A lot of Blacks out there in businesses that we have no idea about, and it will be a good thing to be able to bring them on the platform and let them share, with the public what they're
correct,
doing as well.
correct,
Yeah.
correct.
I'm
Yes, sir.
I'm 58 years old.
Oh, you're
Okay.
Do you
young,
think
man.
you really want to get on a platform with me to discuss dating?
Oh,
Well, hey, as long as there's breath and life, my brother, it's never too late.
there is hope. There is hope for the hopeless.
It's funny. I threw out a couple of different things, but you see which one he tag on to,
I
right,
know, right?
Roy? He
That's
tag
the
on to
human
them.
mind. That's how the mind works, man.
Yeah, he tag on to
I
dating.
felt making fun of me. You had to be making fun of me. That couldn't have been serious. No. Or maybe you're trying to hurt things. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So
Anyway, gentlemen.
yeah, man, and I guess when we get off air, we can chop up some other things. But Dr. Henry, some really great things are happening, and I think we're at the pinnacle of a lot of the hard work we've been putting in over the few years. Without a light at the end of the tunnel, I think
Yes.
we're all starting to see some sort of a light. And I think the change of everything with the virus, and just a whole change that we're
Shifting
dealing with,
our mindset and everything.
the shift of everything. I think we'll all be onto something, and I think we should take advantage
Yes.
of this, and really run with it.
Run with it. Yep. Yep. Yep.
So
Anyway, so are we gonna talk for a few minutes afterwards? We can zoom in on a.
maybe we should, just
Yeah.
to you know um,
Yeah.
so at least maybe you could work out some of the kinks. I mean, I do have the time. We could
Okay.
sit and do
So,
that.
Mr. Henry, do you have some time?
Yes, I
All
do.
right. So we're gonna call it quits right now. Stay tuned. I'll be back. I will zoom you guys in. Or Sam, do you know? Do you familiar with Zoom?
I have the app.
Okay.
If I'm familiar with it, I mean, I can log in. If you send, or you should I send it out and then
Yes, send it
have you
out.
guys come
Because
in, or
yes, send it out and we'll come in, please. All right.
okay?
All right, everyone. It was great having you as a part of our audience, in spite of the glitches and the misses, but it's a part of life. We'll see you here next time.
There are a lot of glitches this
I
morning.
know, right? We had a glass of glitches this morning. Have yourself a great time. We'll see you guys again next time. God bless. So long.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sam.
You're welcome. We're gonna zoom you in, okay?
Okay.
All right, Sam.